The sun of the alien planet sets slowly behind the hills. In the distance, the colony shimmers with bright lights, casting long shadows across the land. The aliens, with their technologically advanced cities and confident forces, rule this planet without a care. They believe nothing can threaten them. They are strong, they have the most advanced weapons, and they control the skies. But tonight, things are different. Something is coming that will make them question everything. On the edge of the colony, an alien patrol walks in a straight line, their boots heavy on the soft earth. The night air is still, with only the hum of distant machines filling the silence. Their weapons are ready, scanning the area for any potential threats. But what they don't know is that something is watching them from a distance. A single human sniper, crouched low in the bushes, hidden from view by an advanced cloaking device, is waiting. His rifle is silent but powerful. He has only one goal: to take down the enemy without being seen. The first alien guard, unaware, steps into a clearing. His hand moves to adjust his weapon. Then, suddenly, a tiny sound. A whisper in the wind, just a fraction of a second. Before the guard can react, the sniper's shot rings out, and the alien falls silently to the ground. His body hits the dirt with no more noise than a leaf falling from a tree. The other aliens don't even notice at first. The sniper watches, his heart steady. This is what he does. He's been trained for this very moment. As the patrol moves on, unaware of their fallen comrade, the sniper lines up his next shot. Another alien. Another silent kill. This one falls just as quickly, and then another. In the shadows, the sniper moves, always just a step ahead of his enemies. One by one, the alien soldiers are picked off. They don't understand what's happening. Why are their men falling? Their technology is the best in the galaxy, but they can't see their enemy. They can't fight what they can't even detect. Panic starts to set in as the patrol leader orders his men to check their scanners, to turn on their cloaking devices. The humans might be clever, but surely their tech can track them down. But nothing works. The sniper remains invisible, just out of their reach. In the command center, high above the colony, the alien commander watches the situation unfold on his monitors. His face is calm, but inside, he is beginning to feel something he hasn't felt in years: doubt. He watches as his soldiers fall, one by one, and his mind races. The humans aren't supposed to be like this. They're primitive, weak. How could one human sniper cause so much damage? Report, he demands, slamming his fist on the table. His second-in-command quickly looks over the data, fear in her eyes. Commander, they are everywhere. We can't track them. The cloaking devices aren't working. The commander's eyes narrow. Are you telling me that we, the most powerful species in the galaxy, cannot find a single human? His second-in-command nods, her voice shaking. Yes, sir. He's using advanced cloaking technology, and his shots, they're precise. They don't miss. The commander is furious. He can't let this human continue to destroy his forces. He orders his men to find and eliminate the sniper at all costs. They may have the best tech, but it seems they're facing an enemy they hadn't prepared for. The sniper's ability to hide, to move without a trace, has thrown them into chaos. In the shadows, the sniper watches the scene unfold. He sees the aliens starting to panic. He smiles, his breath slow and steady. They think they can hunt him, but they're wrong. This is his game now. He knows every corner of this terrain. He's trained for years, and he's the last person they should underestimate. He moves silently, his figure barely visible in the low light. His rifle is still steady in his hands. Another shot, another kill. The sniper doesn't waste a moment. The alien soldiers start to retreat, running in all directions, trying to escape the silent death stalking them from the shadows. And then, as one of the aliens turns a corner, he comes face to face with the sniper. For a split second, time seems to slow. The alien's eyes widen, and the sniper pulls the trigger. But something happens. Before the shot can be fired, the alien commander's voice echoes through the speakers of the soldiers' helmets, a voice of authority and strength. Don't retreat. Hold your ground. We are not like these humans. We are better. The sniper pauses for just a moment. His instincts tell him to take the shot, but something in the commander's voice gives him pause. He's heard about the aliens before, their arrogance, their belief in their superiority. They never expected to be hunted by a human, let alone be at the mercy of one. For a moment, the sniper's mind flashes back to his training. He remembers his commander's words. The best soldiers don't just fight to survive. They fight to prove that humanity can overcome any challenge, no matter how advanced the enemy is. The sniper shifts position, moving into a new vantage point. He knows that he must remain calm. He cannot let his guard down. But there is something different about this mission. This isn't just about taking down a few alien soldiers. This is about proving that humanity will not be intimidated. This is about showing the galaxy that no matter how far the aliens come, no matter how technologically advanced they are, the human spirit cannot be broken. As the aliens regroup and prepare for another search, they begin to feel the first stirrings of fear. They know something is wrong. They feel it in the air, a tension that wasn't there before. The sniper is still out there. And now, they know something even worse. He's not alone. The commander orders his forces to set a trap. They will flush the sniper out. But as they move, they still can't see him. They move in groups, turning over every rock, checking every corner. But the sniper remains just beyond their reach. Finally, the commander grows desperate. He orders the deployment of drones, seeking to flush out the sniper. The drones hover over the ground, scanning for heat signatures, for any sign of the human who has caused so much damage. The sniper watches as the drones approach. He knows they are looking for him, but he is ready. From his position, he fires a small device into the air. It bursts into a cloud of smoke, creating a distraction. The drones move in closer, their sensors focused on the smoke. The sniper uses this moment to slip away, moving farther into the shadows. The aliens are frustrated now. The feeling of powerlessness is overwhelming. They have been hunting for hours, and they are no closer to capturing their prey. The sniper is out there, somewhere, and they still cannot find him. As the night wears on, the aliens begin to realize something they've never had to consider before. Maybe they're not as invincible as they thought. And maybe, just maybe, they've underestimated the human who was hunting them. The suspense hangs thick in the air, and the commander can no longer deny the truth. There is something about this human sniper that makes him more dangerous than any alien warrior. He is a force of nature, a predator in the true sense of the word. And the alien commander fears that, if they don't find him soon, they might just lose everything. The commander of the alien forces stands in the heart of the command center, glaring at the holographic map in front of him. The map displays the terrain of the colony's outskirts, where the human sniper has been picking off his soldiers one by one. His soldiers, the pride of their species, are being decimated by a single human, an underdog that, just hours ago, they would have laughed off as a minor threat. But now, with each fallen soldier, the commander's resolve hardens. He will find this human and crush him. The humiliation is too great to ignore. His hands shake with anger as he orders a complete lockdown of the colony. All patrols are called back, and all reinforcements are sent out to search the entire area. No stone will be left unturned. He can't allow this human to make a mockery of his forces. The aliens, with their advanced technology and superior numbers, begin to search the perimeter with the most sophisticated tools available. They deploy drones, powered exosuits, and even advanced scanners designed to detect heat signatures, movement, and sound. The sniper is no longer invisible. They know where he is, but they can't find him. It's as if he's a shadow in the night, a ghost slipping through their fingers. The commander watches as his troops spread out in perfect formation, the drone swarm moving overhead, scanning every inch of the land below. He watches as his men march forward with confidence, convinced that they will catch this human soon. The situation is becoming more and more tense by the minute, and each alien soldier is on high alert. The commander's patience is wearing thin, and his mind is filled with one thought: find him. Now. Meanwhile, the sniper is far from hiding in fear. He moves with ease through the jungle of the alien world, never stopping for long. The perfect sniper never stays in one place for too long, and he knows the aliens are hunting him. The smoke screen he deployed earlier allowed him to escape, but now he's getting ready for his next move. His rifle is still silent, but his mind is racing, calculating every. He's been on the move for hours, always keeping one step ahead. He knows the alien forces are searching for him, but he also knows that they don't understand how he thinks, how he moves, how he survives. The alien soldiers are used to overpowering their enemies with sheer force. But this human plays by a different set of rules. He fights with patience, with precision, with strategy. The sniper can hear the hum of the drones above him. Their buzzing fills the air like an annoying mosquito, but he knows better than to be distracted. The drones are a powerful tool, but they have their weaknesses. The sniper carefully crouches down and places a small reflective device on the ground, barely noticeable in the darkness. The device's reflection tricks the drone's sensors, creating a decoy. For a moment, the drones veer off course, scanning the wrong area. The sniper takes this opportunity to move. He shifts position, silently crawling through the thick brush, using his environment to cover his tracks. He knows that the alien forces will eventually find his decoy, but by then, it will be too late. He will be gone, a ghost once again, just as the aliens are about to realize they've been outsmarted. Meanwhile, the aliens are becoming increasingly frustrated. The commander's patience is running out. His troops are starting to panic. They can't seem to find the human, no matter how hard they try. The alien soldiers are used to being in control, but now they are starting to feel like prey. The arrogance that once defined them is slipping away, replaced by confusion and fear. As the commander watches his troops search with no success, he realizes that his soldiers have been put into a position they've never been in before. They're not the hunters here. They're the hunted. For the first time, they are beginning to understand what it means to be vulnerable. In the command center, the tension is palpable. The alien commander starts to lose his temper, barking orders at his subordinates. He demands more scans, more drones, more soldiers sent out to find the human sniper. The humiliation of losing to a human is unbearable. He needs to prove to his men that their technology, their weapons, and their superior intelligence can overcome this primitive human threat. The commander's frustration grows as the minutes turn into hours. His soldiers, once confident in their ability to dominate, are now disoriented. They are no longer able to track the sniper. The weapons they once thought of as infallible now seem useless against the human's tactics. Each time they think they have him cornered, the sniper slips away. It's as if he's playing a game with them, and they are losing. The sniper, however, remains calm. Every time he takes a shot, he listens carefully for the sound of the impact, the soft thud of an alien body hitting the ground. He doesn't waste time looking at the fallen soldiers. His job is to keep moving, keep hiding, keep hunting. With each shot, he feels the weight of the mission on his shoulders. This isn't just about survival anymore. This is about sending a message. For the sniper, this is personal. He's been trained for years to face the odds, to take on missions that others would deem impossible. The enemy here is ruthless, technologically superior, and overconfident. But in the heart of battle, it's the human spirit that makes all the difference. The sniper knows that he represents something far bigger than himself, the defiance of humanity against the might of the aliens. The alien forces begin to circle the area with increased urgency. The drones sweep the skies, their sensors probing every corner of the landscape. The alien soldiers, their frustration now turning to desperation, are closing in on the sniper's last known location. The sniper knows that his time is running out, but he also knows that this is the moment when his training, his patience, and his instincts will prove their worth. He takes one last look at the battlefield. His rifle is ready, his mind sharp. He's made it this far by staying out of sight, by moving like a shadow, always staying one step ahead. But now he knows that the aliens will not stop until they've found him. They will hunt him down until the end. The only question now is, will he be able to escape, or will this be his final mission? The sniper's pulse quickens as he watches the alien soldiers converge on his position. This is the moment. He can feel the pressure building, but he doesn't flinch. Instead, he takes a deep breath, steadies his rifle, and prepares for the fight of his life. The aliens are coming, but so is something else, something they aren't prepared for, the human will to survive. The tension in the air is thick, like a storm about to break. The alien forces, having spent hours combing the jungle for the human sniper, are now closing in on his last known location. They know he's out there, somewhere, and they won't stop until they've captured or eliminated him. The commander stands in the heart of the command center, staring at the flickering holographic map. Every movement, every click of a drone's signal as it scans the area, is a reminder of the stakes. If the sniper gets away now, it will be an embarrassment the alien forces can't recover from. The humiliation of being outwitted by a single human would be too much to bear. But the sniper knows this better than anyone. He can hear the hum of the drones above him, their presence a constant reminder that he is being hunted. He knows the alien forces won't stop until they've found him. But unlike the aliens, he has a different kind of advantage. He is human. He has something that they don't: ingenuity, cunning, and the will to survive. His hands grip the rifle tighter as he adjusts his position. He's hidden well, tucked in between the thick foliage of the jungle, but the air is getting hotter. The sweat drips down his forehead, and his muscles ache from being so still for so long. He hasn't moved in hours, but he knows he can't let his guard down. The aliens are getting closer, and he has to outthink them if he wants to survive. He shifts ever so slightly, making sure not to break his cover, checking his gear one last time. Every moment matters now. One wrong move, and it could all be over. The alien forces have made their move. The commander has deployed his elite search team, and they are now combing the area with precision. They are methodical, organized, and relentless. Their technology allows them to detect heat signatures, sound, and even the slightest movement. But the sniper is prepared. He knows how to use the environment to his advantage, how to blend in and disappear. He knows the terrain better than anyone, and he knows that he has only one chance to make it out of this alive. The search party spreads out, each member scanning the area in a perfect formation. They are relentless in their pursuit, but they still can't find him. The sniper smirks to himself. He can hear their footsteps, the alien soldiers searching for him with their advanced technology, but they are no closer than they were hours ago. He has outsmarted them so far, and he intends to keep it that way. But this is more than just a chase. This is a game, a deadly game of wits. The sniper knows that the aliens are getting more and more desperate. They've lost soldiers, they've been humiliated, and now they are focused on finding him at any cost. They think they have the upper hand, but they don't. They don't understand what they're up against. As the sniper moves silently through the jungle, he begins to formulate his next move. The aliens are predictable. They rely on their technology, their superior weapons, and their numbers. But the sniper knows that technology can fail. He's seen it before. The key to beating the aliens isn't brute force. It's outsmarting them, exploiting their weaknesses. He positions himself behind a massive tree, checking the trajectory of his shot. The aliens are closing in, but they haven't spotted him yet. The sniper holds his breath, waiting. His eyes lock on the nearest target, an alien soldier scanning the ground with a handheld device. The soldier's back is turned, and the sniper knows this is his chance. He lines up the shot, steadying his hand, breathing slowly. The world goes quiet around him. Then he pulls the trigger. The rifle's shot is silent, but the impact is undeniable. The soldier drops instantly, a clean shot through the neck. The sniper doesn't wait to see the result. He's already moving again, slipping away into the jungle like a shadow. He knows that every time he takes a shot, he's buying himself more time. But he also knows that the aliens will soon catch on. They'll change their tactics, and that's when things will get even harder. The commander's eyes narrow as the report comes in. One of his soldiers has fallen, but this time, there's no sign of the sniper. This isn't like the earlier attacks, where the human would shoot and vanish. This time, there's no trace. The commander can feel the anger rising in him, but there's no time for that now. His men need to be better. He needs to adapt, to think outside the box. The sniper is clever, and if the aliens want to survive, they must be clever too. Prepare the flares, the commander orders. We're going to flush him out. The search party begins to set up the flares, which light up the sky in an unnatural glow. The bright light cuts through the darkness, casting long shadows on the jungle floor. The sniper flinches as he sees the sudden burst of light, knowing that the aliens have changed their approach. They're no longer relying on stealth. They want him to be exposed. The flares are designed to reveal his position, to catch him in the open. But the sniper is ready. He has been preparing for this moment. As the flares light up the sky, he moves quickly, staying low to the ground, using the shadows to his advantage. The light may be bright, but it's not enough to give the aliens the upper hand. He's already thinking 2 steps ahead. He crouches behind another tree, taking careful aim at the nearest alien soldier. The alien's back is turned, but the sniper hesitates. He knows that taking out this soldier will give away his position. He's not afraid to take the shot, but he's calculating. He can't afford to be reckless. The seconds feel like hours as the sniper watches his target. The aliens are starting to move in different directions now, their flares illuminating the jungle. The sniper knows that if he stays in one place too long, they will find him. But he also knows that if he moves too quickly, he will be spotted. It's a deadly balance, and every decision counts. He hears the footsteps of an alien soldier moving toward him, and the sniper instinctively raises his rifle. But then he pauses. A voice in his head tells him not to fire. Not yet. He takes a deep breath and waits for the perfect moment. When the soldier is in the right position, when there's no chance of missing, he squeezes the trigger. The soldier crumples to the ground, but the sniper doesn't wait to watch. He's already on the move again, disappearing into the shadows of the jungle. The game is far from over, and he knows the aliens are learning from every encounter. This deadly game of wits is only just beginning. As he disappears into the dense foliage, the sniper feels a small sense of victory, but he knows that the aliens will be more prepared next time. They're beginning to catch on. The real test has just begun. The sniper has made it this far, but now, the true battle of survival begins. And he knows that if he's going to make it out alive, he'll have to rely on his wits and his will to survive. Because this isn't just a fight against the alien forces. This is a fight for humanity's survival. The jungle was silent now, save for the rustling of leaves in the wind and the faint hum of alien drones circling above. The alien forces had pushed deeper into the dense forest, their search becoming increasingly frantic. The sniper knew they were getting close, too close. He could hear their footsteps as they moved through the jungle, their heavy boots crunching against the foliage. The once calm jungle was now a battlefield, with the aliens and the lone human locked in a deadly game of cat and mouse. The sniper had moved silently through the jungle, leaving behind a trail of dead aliens in his wake. He was running out of time. His ammunition was running low, and the aliens were adjusting their strategy. They had learned from his tactics, and now they were closing in on him faster than ever. He couldn't afford to make a mistake. One wrong move, and it could be over. He crouched low behind a thick tree trunk, peering through the scope of his rifle. The night was falling, but the jungle was alive with activity. The aliens had set up a perimeter, their searchlights cutting through the darkness. The sniper knew they would come for him, but he was ready. This would be the final confrontation, and he had to make it count. In the distance, he spotted the first alien soldier. The soldier's back was turned, and the sniper quickly calculated the shot. But just as he was about to pull the trigger, he saw something that made him pause. Another soldier, and then another. The aliens were not moving in small groups anymore. They had begun to form a cohesive unit, surrounding him from all sides. It was a trap. The sniper's heart pounded in his chest. This was it, the moment he had been preparing for. The aliens had finally figured out how to corner him. But they didn't realize one crucial thing. The human sniper was more than just a soldier. He was a master of survival, a man who could think several steps ahead. And he wasn't going to give up without a fight. But Ethan hesitated. He could feel the weight of the decision pressing down on him. He was at a crossroads. He had been fighting to survive, to resist, but now he had a choice to make. He could keep running, keep fighting, and try to escape, or he could stay and confront the Kalani head-on, make a stand for himself, for Kella, and for humanity. It was a dangerous choice, but it was the only choice that mattered now. Ethan turned to Kella, his expression resolute. "We fight. We end this here." Kella's eyes widened with approval, but there was no time to celebrate. The Kalani soldiers were regrouping, and the warship above them was about to launch a devastating attack. This was it, the final showdown. Ethan and Kella moved with precision, their every step calculated. They fought side by side, their blasters flashing as they took down one soldier after another. The Kalani were relentless, but Ethan's resolve was stronger. The fight wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about something much bigger. It was about proving that humanity could stand against any enemy, no matter how advanced or powerful. The warship above them fired another round, sending a wave of energy crashing through the station. Ethan and Kella were thrown to the ground once more, but this time they didn't stay down. They got back up, their bodies bruised and battered, but their will unbroken. Ethan's eyes locked on Kella's, and in that moment, they both knew what had to be done. They had no escape, no backup. It was them against the Kalani, and the battle would end one way or another. With a final desperate charge, they fought their way to the heart of the station, where the Kalani leadership awaited. The battle raged on, but Ethan's mind was clear. He had made his decision. This wasn't just about surviving. It was about fighting for what was right, for the future, for humanity. The fight was brutal, but in the end, Ethan and Kella triumphed. The Kalani, stunned by the ferocity of their resistance, finally relented. Ethan had made the ultimate choice, to fight, to stand his ground, and to prove that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity would never back down. As the last of the Kalani soldiers fell, Ethan stood tall, his breath coming in ragged gasps. The battle was over, but the war for humanity's future was just beginning. The battle had been fierce, but it was finally over. The hum of the Kalani warship above them faded into silence, and the last of their soldiers lay defeated on the cold metal floor. Ethan stood amidst the wreckage, his chest heaving, his clothes torn and stained with blood. But it wasn't his blood he was concerned about. It was the future, the life he had just helped secure for Kella and their child. The child he hadn't expected to have, but now knew was his. The chaos of the fight was slowly giving way to a tense calm. The bright artificial lights flickered overhead, casting long shadows over the wreckage that had once been a place of power and cruelty for the Kalani. Ethan wiped the sweat from his brow, his eyes scanning the room for Kella. He had to find her, to make sure she was okay. After everything that had happened, she was the only thing that mattered now. He spotted her across the room, kneeling beside one of the fallen Kalani leaders. She was still, her posture rigid, her face a mask of concentration. Ethan walked over to her, his legs unsteady but determined. As he reached her, He knelt down beside her, placing a hand on her shoulder. Kella looked up at him, her expression unreadable. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. "I thought I lost you," Ethan finally said, his voice hoarse with emotion. Kella's lips curved into a small, faint smile. "You didn't lose me. Not today. Not ever." Her words were simple, but they carried the weight of everything they had been through. The years of separation, the dangers they had faced, and the bond they had forged in the heat of battle, it all came rushing back to him in that moment. She wasn't just the woman who had saved him. She was his equal, his partner, and the mother of his child. The realization hit him like a wave, washing away all the fear and uncertainty he had carried with him. He had found something worth fighting for. "I don't know what's next," Ethan said quietly. "But I know one thing. I'm not leaving you." Kella's eyes softened, and she placed her hand on his. "We're in this together. We always have been. Now, we'll rebuild." Ethan nodded, the weight of their shared journey pressing down on him. He looked around at the wreckage, the remains of their enemies scattered across the room. It was over, but there was no sense of triumph in his heart. The victory didn't feel sweet. It felt like the beginning of something much bigger, something more important than anything they had fought for. Their world was changing. The Kalani were defeated, but the fight wasn't truly over. There was so much more to do, so much to rebuild. And it wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about creating a future, about finding peace in a galaxy that had been torn apart by war. Ethan and Kella's fight had been necessary, but now it was time to rebuild, to create something that would last. As they left the wreckage of the Kalani stronghold behind, they made their way back to the place they had first met, the dusty, desolate land that had once felt so foreign and dangerous. Now it felt like home. Ethan looked up at the stars above them, the vast expanse of space stretching out into infinity. It had always seemed so distant, so unreachable. But now it felt like a place full of possibilities, a place where he and Kella could build a life, a future for themselves and their child. "We'll make it work," Kella said, her voice full of conviction. "We'll create something better than what came before." Ethan turned to her, his heart swelling with pride. He had never imagined that he would find this kind of strength, not just in himself, but in her. She had been his rock, his reason for fighting. And now, as they looked toward the future, he realized that their fight wasn't just for survival. It was for the legacy they would leave behind. "We will," Ethan agreed, "and I'll be there every step of the way." Kella smiled, a true smile this time. It was full of warmth, full of hope, and for the first time in a long time, Ethan felt like maybe they could make a difference. Maybe the future wasn't as dark and uncertain as he had once thought. Maybe they could create something worth fighting for, something that would last. The journey ahead wouldn't be easy. They knew that. There would be more challenges, more enemies, more battles to fight. But they had each other, and they had the strength of humanity on their side. They had shown the galaxy what it meant to stand against overwhelming odds, to fight for what was right, no matter the cost. As they walked together into the future, the echoes of the past faded away. The scars of the battle remained, but so did the hope. The legacy of their fight would live on, not in the ashes of their enemies, but in the lives they would build, in the child they would raise, in the family they would create, and in the knowledge that no matter what came next, they had already proven the greatest truth of all. Humanity could never be defeated. They had won, not just a battle, but a future. As the stars glittered above them, Ethan took Kella's hand, and together they walked toward the horizon, ready to face whatever the future held. With love, strength, and the will to fight for what was right, they would carve their place in the galaxy. And nothing would ever change that. Harsh lesson in humility. The sniper had delivered that lesson, but it had come at a price. His comrades were gone, and the wreckage of the alien war machine, once a symbol of terror, was now a monument to human resilience and determination. As the sniper stood over the battlefield, His thoughts were interrupted by a familiar sound, the hum of a nearby comm unit. It was his commanding officer, giving the orders to pull back. The war was far from over, but this battle had been won. The sniper could hear the voices of his comrades on the comms, their voices filled with relief and disbelief. They had done the impossible, and they had done it together. The alien forces, once so sure of their victory, were now in retreat, and the human forces had proven their worth. But for the sniper, the victory felt hollow. The cost of the battle weighed heavily on him. He thought back to the first moments he had spent in the jungle, the fear that had gripped him when he had realized the aliens were not just a few scattered invaders. They were a full-fledged, technologically advanced force, one that had been prepared to wipe humanity from the face of the galaxy. And yet, against all odds, he had managed to turn the tide. It was an accomplishment that he could be proud of, but it didn't erase the pain of loss. The alien commander, the one who had ordered the attack on the humans, was now on the run. The last of the alien forces were retreating, but the commander knew that this battle would haunt him for the rest of his life. His pride had been shattered, and his reputation tarnished. The humans had proven themselves to be more than just a nuisance. They were a threat, one that the alien empire would have to take seriously from now on. As the sniper made his way back to base, the weight of the victory began to sink in. This wasn't just a battle for survival. This was a moment that would change everything. Humanity had been given a chance to prove itself, and it had seized that chance. The sniper's mind was filled with images of his fallen comrades, Bonner among them. He could still hear his friend's voice, filled with laughter and camaraderie. They had been more than just soldiers. They had been a family. And now that family was gone. But as the days passed and the battle began to fade into history, something else began to take shape. The humans had shown the galaxy that they could fight back. They could stand against the most powerful forces the universe had to offer and come out on top. The sniper had become a symbol, not just of human strength, but of human spirit. His name, his actions, would be remembered for generations to come. The alien empire, however, was not going to give up so easily. They had suffered a humiliating defeat, but they were a vast, powerful force. The commander who had failed to destroy the humans was now a broken man, his career ruined. But the empire had countless other commanders, and the war was far from over. The sniper's victory had bought humanity some time, but it had also ignited a fire in the alien forces, a fire that would burn until they had taken their revenge. The humans, however, were ready. They had faced the worst and survived. They had proven to the galaxy that they were not weak, that they could rise up in the face of overwhelming odds. The sniper, once just a lone soldier, was now part of something much larger. He had become a symbol of resistance, a living testament to the power of human will. And as he returned to the safety of his base, he couldn't help but feel a renewed sense of purpose. He had been part of something that was bigger than himself, something that would shape the future of humanity. Back at the human base, the soldiers who had survived gathered together, their faces etched with the scars of battle. There was no celebration, no grand victory speeches. Instead, there was a quiet understanding among them. They had been to the edge of death and back, and they knew that the war was far from over. But they had won this battle, and that was enough for now. The sniper's actions had inspired them all, and they would carry that inspiration with them into the next fight. In the days that followed, the galaxy began to take notice. The alien empire, once confident in their dominance, now had to face the reality of what they had done. The humans had stood up, fought back, and won. And that was something the aliens had never anticipated. As the news of the battle spread, so did the stories of the human sniper, a lone soldier who had brought an empire to its knees.